Inside. Kyle, you reviewed it. You've been sitting on this for a while, and I haven't really talked to you about it, but you were beaming, grinning from ear to ear with how much you loved this game.
Grotesque.
It's definitely the highest review score I've ever given.
You gave it a what?
9.75.
And this is out on Xbox One now, coming out on Steam next week.
Yes.
Next Thursday.
Yeah.
But this is from the creators of Limbo.
Yep.
So it's Limbo 2, and you like Limbo a lot. Is that the gist here?
Yeah, we can move on.
Great. Tell us, why is this game so amazing?
You run to the right.
You run to the right. It is sort of structurally like Limbo, where you're a boy in a scary place.
Finally.
Moving from left to right, solving little puzzles. But it definitely expands beyond that pretty quickly. It kind of like during the first like hour, I was almost like, it feels like they almost could have called this Limbo 2, because like you even start in like the woods. But it definitely separates very quickly, and it becomes this just like insane world that you're exploring. And like every 10 minutes, I was just like, what the is happening here? Like everything is like, it's very vague, it's very ambiguous about what is happening in the world, but it's creepy and weird, and you're never quite sure what's going on. And you just keep getting pulled deeper and deeper inside to this sort of facility that you're going towards, and it's insane. And I really want people to play it with as little knowledge as possible. Like it is a game that can be spoiled very easily.
So Limbo is pretty cryptic, but it's just the amount of layers and ambiguity that they throw into inside that makes it that much different? Or is it the gameplay shakes up at a certain point?
He doesn't want to say.
Guess, yeah, it's kind of tough to say. Like Limbo had a sort of consistent art style, but like there were moments where you were kind of moving from like a forest to like a more industrial area.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely some of that, like where it's like Inside's world is much more like you get a much better look at it. It's more realized. It's not all cast in shadows. It's a real place, and it's frankly like terrifying. It's
They got
really
spooky
creepy.
spideys?
No spiders. But
Okay.
there is some creepy equivalent to spiders in the game. But
Ventriloquist dummies that walk around on their own accord.
Giant eyeballs that blink?
Pretty close,
Of course.
actually, Jeff. Yeah.
Pretty
close.
I think you solved it.
So
You figured it out.
how does a game like this, that's like, oh, you run to the right, there's some light puzzles, it's ambiguous, 9.75?
Yeah.
How does that work?
I just it like there's a couple things about it that like really jump the score for me. And one of them is that like it feels like a nightmare. Like you're playing like a nightmare. You're smiling, but like that's what I walked away from it. I felt like I had experienced somebody's nightmare. And like
And that's always been your dream in life.
Just drooling.
it's a different type of dream.
Please let me jump into my wife's dreams tonight.
But in an interesting way, like in other types of media, like books or movies or something, they always try to represent dreams in interesting ways. But this is the first time I felt like I played through a dream and experienced someone else's dream. And the other thing that I just took away from it is like the way you kind of feel while you're playing it. Like it just made me uncomfortable, but I was like in just a way that only a video game can do. Like you kind of exist in this world, and you move through it at your own pace, and you kind of take it in at your own pace, and it's just really affecting. Like the last like 10, 15, 20 minutes of the game, like, and I texted Miller like immediately about this when I was playing it. Like I'm not exaggerating. Like my mouth was open. Like I was just staring at the screen in a dark room, headphones on, volume turned up really high, and I was
Your
just
daughter
like,
shoving her hand in Cheetos.
I was like,
into
go
your
away.
mouth.
No,
Yeah.
this isn't for you. This is
Claire,
for Dad.
honey, I'll get to you later.
But it actually was. I was like, Ashley, can you just like keep Claire downstairs while I finish off this game, and like don't let her come upstairs?
Do you want to just describe your entire family tree for people?
Sure. Yeah. My
Please
brother
don't.
lives in California.
Okay, so mouth agape, just crazy stunning.
Yeah. I couldn't believe like what was happening on screen, and I was just like totally enamored. I immediately restarted the game after I beat it. Like because the way the game works is like after the credits roll, it actually just dumps you back to the beginning, and I just started going to the right.
Real quick, Reiner, is it one of the best endings you've ever seen in your life?
I think so. Here's like I got the talk, so to speak, from Joe. It's like, this is a really high score. Are you sure you want to give this game like this high score? And one of like sort of among my many arguments was like, I really love Limbo. Limbo is one of my like top 10 favorite games. I think Inside is a better game than Limbo. Like that's an easy sort of like listed version of like why I think this game is so good, why I rank it so high, why I review it so high, is because this is a game that will live on my like top 10 favorite games list for a long time.
What number is it?
Oh, that's a tough question. Maybe, I don't know, like now after I'm like just embedded in it, it's probably like top 5. We'll see if it gets kicked down a little bit over time, but I really love this game a lot. Wow. I'm not going to forget this game anytime soon, if ever.
What was the game called?
Inside.
Okay.
So please, you should play it. It's you can get through it in about 5 or 6 hours. I actually looked at my timer on it. I played it for like 14 hours because I played it twice and like really dug into it and tried to find everything.
Because there's a lot of secrets and stuff.
Yeah, there's like Limbo had these like hidden eggs that you could find. This has something equivalent. Yeah.
Sorry, Reiner's wanted to ask a question for the last 7 minutes.
Reiner has played a little bit
just
of it.
the one thing, I'm about an hour and a half into it, and I played all the way through Limbo, liked Limbo. But the thing that really kind of separates it or elevates Inside above Limbo is just this progressive feeling of seeing something in environment going, what the hell is happening?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Limbo, it was just like, I got to escape the woods or whatever, or escape the spider. This one
is
is
a scary
like
place. Yeah,
this is a weird place. There's weird stuff going on. But the other thing that's really brilliant, developer Playdead, hats off to them, is making such simplistic puzzles stump you for so long. Like there'll just be like one object you can move the environment. That's it. And it's just like, how am I going to get up to that ledge? And you're moving it around, doing different things. And they do that over and over and over. Just simplicity, not overdoing it, but stumping you. It's really impressive.
Yeah, like even beyond the sort of just emotional like aspect of the game that I really loved, like the puzzles are just super well designed. Like they have interesting mechanics and they never overcomplicate them. Like they have a couple things that are new for Inside, like that I haven't seen in other puzzle games. And like when you first encounter them, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this again later, and it's going to be really complicated, more difficult. But what they do is they just keep like turning it on its side and changing it the way you do it, and it's never too complicated. I never felt like I never like threw up my hands. I was like, I can't figure this out. Like,
But you're really smart at puzzles.
I'm a genius at puzzles. Yeah.
Well, you have glasses. You do you understand video
glasses.
game puzzles very well.
Yeah, but even I like this is a game like that I think even like in the same way Limbo was accessible enough for even people who aren't like super big gamers, like they could figure it out and get it and enjoy it. Like I feel like Inside is the same way. It never gets, and I think even overall the puzzles are easier than they were in Limbo.
Okay.
But still maintaining that level of just like interesting and like enjoyable puzzle solving.
Who are these developers? Playdead, they're Danish, right?
Yeah. they're from
What's
Denmark.
going on there?
There's like 3 guys. Like there's Dino something is like the
Hey,
CEO.
Dino, you Playdead.
Arndt Jensen. He was like the director on both Limbo and
Speaking of Deus Ex.
Inside. And then there's also I can't remember his name, but like the sound is very important to Inside and was very important to Limbo as well. And they have a dedicated guy that lives there.
That's his whole job.
That's his whole
Just
job.
making
All he
noise
does
for
is-
video games.
Is make loud clanging noises in the background, and you're like, "What is that? That's scary as hell."
Are they as amazing these games are? Is this just going to be their mold? Do you think? Would you like to see them try something wildly different now? Running to the left,
I don't know.
running
man.
to the right.
oh,
I was excited, like, because I loved Limbo so much. I was like just looking for like anything that they were doing because they were so quiet for so long. They got funding from the Danish Film Institute to make the game, and as a result, a single piece of concept art was on the Danish film. What did I call it? The Danish Film
Institute?
Film Institute's
DFI.
website.
and that's why that was your homepage for years.
That's right. For years, there's just one screenshot of this like dark child dragging a dead body through the rain, and that was like all there was like for years.
Welcome to Denmark.
Yeah, but to that point, like I was excited when I saw that it was kind of structurally like similar to Limbo when we finally got a taste of like how the game worked, and I would like them to keep staying in that sort of mold of like really creepy and engaging games. I don't know if that means changing the mechanics or maybe doing like a more open like 3D world, but like they're good at what they're doing. And I don't want them. I'm always happy to see developers try new things, but I would also be very happy to see them kind of stay in their wheelhouse of like we make really engaging, terrifying, creepy experiences.
I want to see them to make like a Ho Hokum sequel.
Yeah, just something really happy.
Bizarre. Yeah,
I'd
exactly.
be excited about that too.